What up? What up? What up? This is Mike, the philosopher, here with a very special guest. TJ is in the building. How are you, dear?
I'm doing great.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so today's topic, we thought we'd talk about this. I found it pretty interesting. And the topic of the day is marriage. Okay. And it's pretty much a dying institution, to be
Yes,
honest,
it is.
and I'm wondering why that is. Is it the men? Is it the women? What are your thoughts about marriage, and is it a good deal for the men or the women, or you tell me?
I think my thoughts in marriage is no one on either side, to me, a lot of times they don't take it seriously now. They just feel
Mm,
like it's a piece of paper. If I'm not feeling what you're doing, I'm not in it for the long haul.
mm,
I'm not in it through the lows and the rocky roads. So therefore I'm out.
right, right.
Whereas back in the day, they would really try and make their marriage work no matter what storms they were going through. It's not like that anymore. I think
But why do you think that it's not like that anymore? Why did they try harder back in the past than they do now?
I think now there's so many options. There's so many um, women that are willing to be side pieces. There's so
Mm,
many men that are willing to be side pieces. And so because of that, there's just too many options. And so people don't take their main person that they said I do to seriously. I
you
just
think
that's
it's a
why
side piece phenomenon that's
I do.
happening?
I really do. There's a side piece. I mean, there's so many men that can have so many different women, and the options are just galore. There's so many women that can have so many men. So if my man ain't doing right at home, then I'm gonna go check on number two, because he
Right.
can satisfy some of the things that my husband won't do. That's their mentality. The mentality of it all is corrupt. And why that is, I don't know.
You think social media has something to do with it?
I really do. I mean, I really do. I think they've normalized um, side pieces. It's okay. Look at Michael. What is it? Michael Blackson. You
Hmm.
know, uh, he's engaged, but she really does not want him to have any side pieces, and he rather have the side pieces than be married to her. So she's struggling trying to figure out, then do I want to stay with him or not, because that's a deal breaker for him.
Well, not necessarily, and this is why. I'm pretty familiar with the Michael Blackston situation. I'm not in a business like that, but I heard it from him
Mm-hmm.
that he's he is engaged to her, but she
Yeah.
is allowing him to have a side piece. He
Okay,
gets a
so
he gets a side piece every, what is it, every week or every month or something like that. She let him go do his thing.
she did agree to that, but she
Right.
said he's not staying to those stipulations. He's still going outside of what she agreed to. And so for her, she's saying that because you're crossing the boundaries, then you're disrespecting what our agreement was. It's a disrespectful thing. If I'm
Right.
saying, okay, once a month, you can have your side piece, but just don't be having her out in public. Don't be, frolicking with her where other people can see. Then I'm okay with you having that one side piece, once a month. And it has to be a different girl, not the same girl. He's broken the agreement. And
Mm.
he said that he broke that agreement. He can't help himself. So now it puts her in a position to where she loves this man. She wants to marry this man, but he's disrespecting her by not following the agreement.
I agree. If he's not following the agreement, that he's totally in the wrong. I mean, it was flexible enough for her to let him even do that. And
Yeah.
if he's even violating that, then that is a huge red flag. So yeah, I don't blame her for having doubts after that. I mean, you give a guy, some guys, too much, and they take advantage of that. And
Yeah. And I think that was, it was a compromise that she made. She didn't take it all away, because at first he was doing it like every week or 3-4 times a week. And she said, I'll compromise with you.
What do you think about this? What do you think about the country opening up some of the laws and allowing stuff like polygamy and polygyny, all nationwide?
I mean, so me personally, I just don't believe in polygamy, just because I believe in monogamy. In a monogamous relationship, I don't want to share my man with nobody, period, point blank. I know that if I'm put in that situation, I'm going to be jealous. I just can't help it. I need all of your time, and I want you to have all of my time. I want that quality time with you each and every day. I don't want where I have to be on rotation and I have to wait for you 2 or 3 days before you come into my room, and spend that quality time with me. So I actually have been watching a show called Seeking Sister Wives or whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
And you see some of these women, I mean, they're all for it, good for them. But there are other ones that are kind of struggling with it. And it's kind of like, there's one couple on there, or couples. The one Black woman, she's really expressing how she feels. No, I don't want you to do this, that, or the other. And he's like, why? If we're in a polygamous relationship. So I see that there's a struggle with some of the women that are like, I don't like to see my man kissing 2 other women just after I kissed him. So for me, I could not do that. I could never do that.
Okay. Yeah, because it's becoming more popular now. And I think there are some states that are trying to legalize it. I think it was banned a while in Utah, and I think they kind of bending the rules on it a little bit. There are some other southern states that are, kind of normalizing it too. I just wonder if there is something, because the way it is now, and traditional monogamy, like what you want, right? That's not sustaining. It's not, more people divorce than they do stay together nowadays.
True. Yeah, I mean, and you're right about that. But just because you're in a polygamous relationship does not mean that divorce can't happen either.
True.
It can still happen.
True.
Because it happened to one couple, and the second wife ended up being the main one.
But here's the difference between it. If you have only 2 people versus having, let's say, 4 people, right? A man and 3 women. A household won't necessarily get destroyed the same way. And the reason I say that is because, yes, there's going to be a missing wife or whatever, but the household can still maintain as a family with the remaining wives.
Being monogamous.
What's that?
why can't it still be maintained being monogamous? I mean, you have, or
Because and here's the reason why I say that, and I kind of made a comparison, okay, and you could tell me if I'm right or wrong on this comparison.
okay,
A man and a woman is like riding a bike, right? It's two wheels,
mm-hmm,
but it's harder to balance. Okay, now a car has four wheels,
mm-hmm,
four leading members of the family. A car can still kind of put down the road on three wheels. It can still, it's missing a wheel, but it's still more stable than a bike is.
okay,
You see what I'm saying? So I kind of compared it to that. It's when you have only two people, it is very easy. It's more fragile because all it takes is one person to really deconstruct an entire family. But when you have multiple people in it, other people can hold it up while one, if one falls off, so to speak. And then if that wife wants to leave or divorce or whatever, then you can bring another third wife in, and she can pick up that slack where the other one left off and continue to you see what I'm saying? That's
I
kind of
mean,
how I compare it and how I look at it.
I hear what you're saying. I just kind of think that, to me, it gives the man some power, some sort of power, that
That's a
I don't
bad
know.
thing. That's a bad thing.
Well, to me, being submissive to a man is being under a man. And I'm not saying that women need to be equal to a man, but anything sub is beneath. And I don't want to be beneath anybody. I don't
Well,
want,
you're a religious woman, right?
I am a religious woman.
Okay,
And I
so
know
in the
it says be
Bible, isn't it in the
submissive.
Bible, doesn't it say that the wife is the helpmeet of the husband?
Yes, she is supposed to be submissive to her husband, but that doesn't mean, okay, he's telling me to do this, so therefore I must do it. He has to still take in her opinion, still see what her thoughts are about it, still
Of
take
course.
in her feelings about the situation before he makes his final decision.
But
Instead of
he's not an
going out.
employer. He's a husband. He's not an employer. He's a
But sometimes men treat women as employers.
mm, I don't
Yes.
I mm,
And when I say that, I'm saying that they want the woman to still sometimes help with the bills, help with the kids. Well, they don't help, but help clean the kids, help feed the kids, still cook. We still gotta look sexy. We still gotta perform in bed. We still gotta stay in shape. We still gotta, women spend a lot of money on themselves because a lot of times they're trying to keep their husband happy, and they don't realize the energy and the cost that we have to put into ourselves in order to be the trophy on y'all's arm so you can be the so-called king.
we support you looking good and doing things like that. Yeah, we support that. But I see. Let me and I can let me get your opinion about this. Oftentimes, well, I just say this. It just seems like, I'm not saying it is. It just seems like when men are in power, they don't abuse the power. But when women are in power, they abuse it.
I disagree.
Okay. Now, and the reason I say that is because this. Money, for instance, when a man makes more money, he makes money and it benefits the family. But when a woman makes more money, it benefits her.
No.
It
No,
it
that's
doesn't.
that's not correct, because, and I'm not going to say in all cases this happens, okay? I don't know if you're saying in all cases, but to me, if a woman is in power, it's supposed to benefit the family as well.
It's supposed to.
You and I are supposed to be us together, period. Period, point blank. What you got, I got. What I got, you got. It don't matter how much money I make. So if I make a substantial amount more money than what my husband makes, I'm going to still make sure he's taken care of. I'm going to still make sure that he may not be able to pay half the rent. Okay, I got the rent. You pay the rest of the bills. You know what I'm saying? Or we come to an agreement, but I'm not going to use that power to be like, oh, well,
I know
make
women.
this and that.
I know
And
women who once they made money or made more money, they left their husbands.
there are men like that too. So
Not necessarily. When
but we
men make more money, they don't necessarily leave their marriage because they make more money. If they leave, it's not because of their money, it's because of some other other issue. But when women do it, it is due to the money. If they feel like there's a power, like they don't want no scrubs, they don't want to as you could say, date down or even marry down. So if they're married to a guy and they start making money and they look at their husband and he's not making what they're making, they lose respect for him.
I think it depends. Honestly, it depends on the woman. I can't say every woman would do that.
I'm not saying every woman either. I'm not saying. Yeah. I'm just saying really the majority.
Yeah, me personally, in every single relationship I've been in, I was the breadwinner.
Right.
I made more money. I didn't look down on my husband's or the person that I was with because he made less money than me. Okay, he was doing his part financially, if he was doing his part, then me and him, we will rock together. But the difference is if you're not doing your part, if we made an agreement, now I have a problem with you. And I'm going to discuss that problem with you. I'm going to discuss, hey, you were supposed to pay this, or you were supposed to do this, but I see you're out in the clubs, or you out in the strip clubs, or you're doing this, you're gambling, you're spending money on this. Now everything is on my shoulders. That's when I start losing respect. So it depends on the situation, and it depends on the woman as far as, I'm not the type of person, if I make more money than you, I'm not going to look down on you just because you make more money. I mean, I make more money than you. That's
right. Now, we have to make some qualifiers here because we have to kind of understand the times that we are in right now. You are Generation X, correct?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, you're X. So, and this is sort of what I had to explain to another friend of mine, a female who was in Gen X, and she said my generation don't move like that. And I said, well, those days are gone. Okay, we're in different times. You and your friends may not move like that, but that ain't how the world is moving right now. And a lot of Generation X women don't understand that because they only see their world. So they don't see what the world as for what it is today. And if you got a whole bunch of Lori Harveys and Kim Kardashians and these young girls seeing these girls winning, they want to move like that. And they start adopting those, toxic behaviors.
And I do get that. And you're right. The younger generations, they feel like I'm a boss. I'm getting the bag. I'm doing what I got to do. So what's your excuse? If I can get it, you should be able to get it. So yeah, I do think the younger generation, they move very different.
Right. And we talking about, TikTok to Instagram to OnlyFans, and they
Yeah.
have so much incentive to move like that right now. Whereas in your generation, they didn't have that incentive to really move like that, because there were no outlets to do that with. But now you can make millions of dollars with an OnlyFans account and practically do nothing, just get paid to be a woman.
Yeah.
And that mentality is what is out there right now. So
Well, I guess if you are a Generation X person and you're trying to date someone younger, then your mindset should be a little bit different, because you should already know that their mindset is different from how your mindset is. You understand?
as a man, as a Gen X man.
So, right. So as a Gen X man, if you're dating younger, they're already looking to see, okay, can he be my sugar daddy? That's gonna be the first thing in their head. Generation X women, there are some women out there that in my generation are still saying, can he be my sugar daddy?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the women, they done got themselves together. They know what they want. They don't really necessarily need a man to provide for them. They want someone to work with them as a team. So I guess it all depends on what you're looking for. So if you're looking for something younger, then you have to expect that, because that's what that generation has been taught. Like you said, through social media, Instagram, all of that, they see that and they're like, yep, that's what I want, and I'm not settling for nothing less. So he got to come with it if he's trying to get with me, because I'm a boss,
Mm-hmm.
So
but the thing with Generation X women, though, is that they've lived life, right? So they have some more experience, but with that experience comes a lot of resentment towards men. Okay, so they have the parameters set up. A lot of them have delusional thinking, because the reason I say that is because they think that they are higher on they think they're prettier than what they are, and they think that they can get high value men, and they can have practically any man they want.
No.
There are a lot of them.
That's how you think we think?
I'm saying that I've met some. I'll just put it that way. I'm not saying all, of course. Okay. I'm not saying all. But what I'm saying is from my experience, a lot of them are they have a bit of a bitterness about dating nowadays, and it's harder to work with them because they have this picture of what a man is or should be, and they don't move out of that, and it's harder to work with them as far as a relationship.
I think just like men in my age, they've gone through a lot of things as well. So they're looking for a particular woman, or they're trying to avoid a particular woman. And so the woman is doing the exact same thing. I don't think either one of them are wrong for wanting what they want, when you say delusional, what can you give me some examples?
Well, if you ask them, if you just walk up to them and ask them, what would they rate themselves? Like, what would you rate yourself from 1 to 10?
For me, I'm going to say probably a 6 or 7, because there are some beautiful women out there.
Okay. Well, a lot of women would just say 9 or 10.
Okay, because they have confidence, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But that's when that whole delusional thing comes into play, because a lot of them.
Why is that delusion?
Well, because everybody can't be a 9 or a 10. It's just
okay, but that's okay. You
a
may
9
not
and
think
10.
you're
A 9 and 10 is rare. A 9 and 10 are rare. They're rare.
okay, but that doesn't mean they're delusional. It just means they have a lot of confidence within themselves, which is nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
Yes. Well, okay, there's nothing wrong with having confidence. Okay, but you can be realistic and have confidence. Okay. I'm confident in myself, but I'm realistic. I'm not.
If
I'm not
I said I was a 10, I felt like I was a 10, then I'm delusional.
I'm not trying to put this on you, okay?
No,
because I don't want nothing to be personal with you.
No, but I'm just asking because I'm still trying to get.
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, well, look, a 10 will get 10 results, right? So a 10 will attract millionaires, even billionaires. They will attract every man, okay?
Okay.
But a woman who says she's a 10 and she's not attracting those type of guys, maybe she's not a 10.
But in her mind, if she
But everybody don't live in her mind, is what I'm saying. That's why I call it delusional, because everybody is not living in your mind, and everybody don't see the world the way that you see it.
Okay, and I do get that, but I do know a lot of women who do think they're a 10, where they're obese, they love showing their skin, they love showing their body, they love just being the center of attention, they have that confidence. So in their mind, they do think they're that 10, they do think that they're that girl.
Right.
And so for me, I'm looking at her like, okay.
And here goes another.
But the thing is, she's attracting men because of the confidence that she has. Are they billionaires and millionaires? No, but she is attracting a lot of men because of that confidence. So to me, to say that because I'm saying I'm delusional, I'm 10, so I'm delusional, I don't agree with that.
Well, all you got to do is look at the results. But here's another issue that I kind of have. First of all, let me say this, and this is a disclaimer. I love women. Y'all are the best. Y'all so yummy to me. Okay.
Okay.
Now, and I don't blame women for nothing. I don't blame men for nothing. I place all of my blame on society, the government, because they put the parameters in place and tell everybody to move in those parameters.
Okay.
The women are innocent in my eyes, and so are the men. You're going to act the way that you can get away with, so to speak. Mm-hmm. All right. So, but here's another issue I have, and that is a lot of times women tend to not hold other women accountable. Okay, if you know your fat friend is not a 10, but she's prancing around like she's a 10, and you say, hey, go girl, you the stuff. Hey, you're not helping her be more realistic. Now, she might pull a couple of dudes that's gonna, say, oh, you know what those dudes are thinking? She's probably easy in bed. I'm just being honest. That's probably what those guys are thinking. Oh yeah, she's friendly, she overconfident. I could probably smash and dash this one.
And they probably do think that, but guess what? She's not entertaining that.
And they probably not sticking around. And they probably
do. That's the thing. They still stick around. I don't know if it's because of the taste or what. As far as the accountability wise, we might tell her at first, like, girl, I don't think you should wear that. But if she still feels confident and she wants to rock it, then do you. Who
That's
am
what
I
I'm
to
saying.
tell you? Do you,
That's what
boo?
I'm saying. Y'all have a
Live your
hard
life.
time holding each other accountable. And y'all have a hard time. Look, I'm not saying to destroy her confidence. And I'm not saying that that's what y'all should be doing. However, men hold other men accountable.
How
I,
so?
Kevin Samuels was holding men accountable for 3 years before he got to women. Okay.
Okay. Give
And
me the
we do this all the time with our sons, with our friends, with everybody. And as a matter of fact, he didn't even get famous for holding the men accountable. You know why? Because the men would take it on the chin. Men would listen to him. He didn't
okay,
become
so
famous until he started talking about the women, and the women couldn't handle it.
how,
I mean, that's just being real. Once he started talking about women, he became infamous because he went viral because of it. But he's been talking about men for 3 years.
so when a man is cheating on a woman, is one of your homeboys, what are you saying to him?
Men will hold other men accountable. If
What are
he's
you
cheating,
saying to him? Don't tell me men are holding other men accountable. What are you saying?
I'm gonna say, dude, you shouldn't be doing that. I met your wife. I know your wife. Y'all got a good family over there. Go home. Get the fuck out of here. That's what I would
So you
say.
don't think women are doing the same thing? That we're not saying the same thing to our female friends?
No, I don't. Not to the degree the men are.
Wow.
I'm just being like you.
Then
Even
I
just
think you're delusional then.
well,
I
okay, that's
think,
fine. But
yeah.
you just gave a good example as to why, as to how the women are not holding each other accountable in that
No, I
way.
gave an example of a woman who is confident in her skin. We may have talked to her when we first, seen how she dressed and how she carried herself or whatever. And she still felt like, I feel good in this. Then who am I to tell her, don't wear this? I'm not her mother. If
I
she
get
feels
that.
confident in that, then I'm gonna, yeah, go ahead then, girl. Do
But
your thing.
the same way I told that dude to go home to his family, why can't you tell that young lady what she needs to hear? Sometimes
But
it's
initially we did. That's what I'm saying. Initially we did, so we did take accountability. But it's not. She's not my child. I'm. She's not my sister, my relative, or whatever. She's my friend. So I'm not gonna just cut her off just because she don't want to take the advice that I give her as far as how she should dress.
I got
She's
you.
a grown woman.
I got
And
you.
when
Let me
it
let me
comes
let me let me get back to marriage though, real quick, because I mean this is a good conversation. But let me get back to marriage. Is it beneficial for women to be married nowadays?
is it
And
beneficial? It
is it more
depends.
pros or is it more cons?
I just feel like in a relationship now, in certain relationships, they get the short end of the stick. Like I said, they have to now they have to work, come home, clean, cook, have sex, do things around the house, while he gets to come home, kick his feet up, get a beer or glass of whatever, and kick back,
Let
and
me
he's
let me
done.
give you a reason why that may be. Okay, and I'm not saying you need to accept this explanation, but hear me out. All right. First of all, that those are traditional ways. If you want a traditional man, you have to do things to the traditional way. That's the way it is in the church. That's how they raise you. And also men oftentimes do harder jobs than women. So when they go to work, okay, they're the plumber, they're the construction guy, they're the bricklayer, okay, and their jobs are more physically demanding. Okay, now if a woman has,
There
I'm
are
not saying
jobs.
I'm not
So
saying they work more
some
hours. I'm just
women
saying
don't do. physical jobs. There are no women out there that
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying oftentimes men do more physically demanding jobs. Okay. So when they come home, yeah, they require more recharge energy time because they are doing manual and physical labor a lot of the times. Okay. And it's different than what a lot of the women are doing. A lot of the women are not, digging sewers and laying bricks. They're not doing that type of stuff.
But not all men are doing physical things at their job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's a lot of white collar men that are sitting in their office all day on their computers, but they still come home and feel like their work is done. So can you explain that to me?
They feel like their work is done. Well, then they're laying in that traditional role. That's pretty much what it is. Now, let me say this. Do you know that America is practically the only place that the women complain about being women and wives? Because I've been to Africa. I'm headed to a vacation here pretty soon in the East, and the women there, even if their man is doing all of that stuff and they're coming home, none of the women complain about being wives once they come home. Especially when I was in Africa. When I was in Africa, I seen women have a baby on the hip, baby on the back. They was balancing the baby on their head, and they were still working with their hands. I mean, they were just doing a lot of stuff. Only in America, first world country, where you have the women complain about being wives. What are your thoughts about that?
My thoughts are, like I explained before, in America, this is how we were born and raised. We were raised that the Prince Charming was going to come and take care of us and all the fairy tale stuff, okay? But in other countries, they weren't raised like that. They were raised, you're born, okay, and if you're a female, you are pretty much born to submit to your husband, take care of him, take care of all his needs, and you don't really think about yourself. It's all about him. So I understand why the American women are feeling the way they are, because we were given a fairy tale from the very beginning, as soon as we came out the womb. In other cultures, they weren't given that.
All right. And we may continue this conversation. Thanks for joining. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.